A stepsister from different parents. Wants to have your babies every day. Tries every way to pin you down. If you refuse, you'll get a beating of law. They might even stage a capture operation. But it all started with Dad's phone call. That day, you were eating instant noodles in the dorm. Dad suddenly called. As soon as you answered, he said seriously, "Son, your dad has been with a rich woman. I didn't tell you before to not affect your studies. Now I'm coming clean. You're a rich second generation." You froze on the spot. Is Dad losing his mind? Just as you were about to ask, Dad continued, "Your stepmother's daughter is on her way to pick you up. Get ready for your new life." With that, before you could ask more, he hung up. Before you could react, there was a knock at the door. You quickly put on your shoes. Full of doubt, you opened the door. The door slowly opened. The next second, your eyes widened. Before you was a breathtakingly beautiful face, exuding an aloof aura. Su Jingyao at the door saw you staring. She grabbed your hand. As she walked downstairs, she said, "Let's go. Don't keep Uncle Lu and my mom waiting." Her voice was cold but pleasant. You only snapped out of it when you got in the car. Looking at the fairy sizing you up, you couldn't help but ask, "Are you Aunt Qin's daughter?" As Dad said. Hearing that title, Su Jingyao frowned and corrected you. "My name is Su Jingyao. From today, I'm your sister. From now on, call me sister. Got it, stinky little brother?" You looked her over and didn't respond. Now you just wanted to find Dad quickly to ask what was going on. The Panamera took a few turns in the city, finally stopped at a luxury hotel. Under the Hotel Manhwa's personal reception, you and Su Jingyao entered a private room. You sat down at the round table, looking at Aunt Qin, who was nearly 40, but still had fair skin. You couldn't help but ask, "What do you see in my dad?" As soon as you said that, Lu Jinghua, in branded casual wear, changed his expression. "What are you saying, Xiaopeng? This is your Aunt Qin. You need to be polite. Got it?" You pouted. "Dad, don't flatter yourself. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to this aunt." Dad's face darkened. "If others weren't around, you'd definitely get a beating. Your mother passed away before you were born, so you spent a lot of time with Dad. Your relationship was more like brothers." Hearing your words, Qin Wanru laughed heartily, her beautiful eyes fixed on you, smiling. "You're just your Dad said. What an interesting kid. From now on, you and Jingjing are siblings. Get along well. I heard from your dad. You just graduated and haven't found a job, right? Jingjing is the general managio of Yunxiao Group. She can arrange for you to start work tomorrow." Su Jingyao turned to look at you, a smile with a hint of mischief. "Of course, no problem. Right, good little brother?" You twitched your mouth. Yunxiao Group was a well-known local company. You had become a rich second generation just like that. Even novels wouldn't dare write this. After a simple meal, Dad and Qin Wanru, to let you bond with Su Jingyao, handed you a villa key, then made an excuse and left. 3 minutes later, in a luxury private room, you couldn't stand Su Jingyao's direct stare. You moved closer to her. Carefully, "Good sister, have we met before? Why do you keep staring at my face?" Hearing you call her sister, Su Jingyao looked satisfied. She took out her phone and showed a chat record, a playful smile on her lips. "I'm just curious, when you argued with me on Lie, you were pretty tough, weren't you? Why are you so timid in person?" You were confused, not understanding what she meant. You glanced at the chat record. That look almost scared you to death. In college, besides part-time jobs, you were also an online novel writer, writing light novels on Lie. 3 years ago, you met a female netizen named Yun Jianwan. She always commented, asking why you wrote such sad plots. You wanted to block her countless times, but she always gave you good inspiration, and could pinpoint flaws in your novel. Even so, you still thought she was crazy. So, she insulted you once, you replied 10 times. This love-hate relationship lasted 2.5 years. Maybe feelings grew from the insults. Half a month ago, she surprisingly confessed to you, but you didn't believe in online dating. You directly rejected her, and now, that woman you argued with for 3 years, had become your sister. Seeing you finally realize, Su Jingyao stood up, smiling. She reached out and messed up your hair. Smirking, she said, "Stinky little brother, weren't you going to rub me down before? Why are you silent now? How should I punish you?" A chill ran down her spine, thinking about living with her from now on. If you're scared now, how will you survive later? With that thought, you mustered courage to show your strength. But just as you were about to stand, Su Jingyao seemed to read your mind. Expressionless, she put her hand on your shoulder, pushing you back down. "Good little brother, I forgot to tell you. I was bored before, and got a black belt in Taekwondo. Also learned self-defense from a martial arts coach. You awkwardly coughed twice. Sister, I was just joking before. Your little brother offended you. Don't take it to heart." Seeing your quick change in attitude, Su Jingyao wanted to laugh but thought it was the first day meeting. Better to hold back a bit, to not break the stinky little brother too soon. "Let's go. Sister will take you to see the new home, and buy you some clothes for work. You can't dress so shabbily." You reluctantly followed her out of the hotel. Soon after, Su Jingyao took you into a branded clothing store, generously bought you several outfits. Compared to your previous street stall clothes, it was a huge upgrade. You looked completely new as you got in the car. Su Jingyao handed you a black card. "Stinky little brother, this is your sister's allowance for you. Spend it freely. If it's not enough, ask me." You glanced at it and laughed. "Sorry, I have a hard mouth. I can't eat soft rice or accept handouts." "Keep it for yourself, right? My mom said you might need money as a new graduate. She specifically told me to give you $1 million as a welcome gift, but it seems I was overthinking." $1 million. You were shocked. You coughed twice and reached for it, but Su Jingyao suddenly pulled her hand back. A playful thought crossed her mind. "Stinky little brother, didn't you just say you don't accept handouts? A man's word is his bond. How can you go back on it?" Seeing the $1 million slip away, you panicked. You reached out to grab it. "Sister, I was just being polite. Give me the card." So the two of you started wrestling. The driver heard the commotion, glanced in the rearview mirror, saw Su Jingyao laughing happily. He was surprised. The president Su he knew wasn't one to laugh easily. What magic did this kid have to make the aloof president Su act like this? After a struggle in the back seat, you finally snatched the black card from Su Jingyao, a triumphant smile on your face. But after the brief joy, you realized something was wrong. You were still on top of Su Jingyao, your bodies almost touching. Never having been this close to a girl, you blushed, especially when you accidentally touched her soft skin. Your heart suddenly raced. Just as you were about to escape, Su Jingyao wrapped her arms around your waist, put her head near your ear and whispered, "Stinky little brother, your reaction now is really cute. Could it be you have improper thoughts about your sister?" You swallowed hard and quickly pulled away, awkwardly turned your head to look out the window. Who has thoughts about you? Half an hour later, you arrived at the villa in Haringyuan, Modu. Su Jingyao changed into a white nightgown, half lying on the sofa, her long, fair legs crossed. The TV was playing the latest anime. You just hung up the phone and looked at the TV. Suspiciously, "Did you fast forward while I was on the phone? How is it almost over? What do you know? Double speed is the best way to watch anime." "Are you kidding? Double speed? Is that for humans? Give me the remote." "No way, stinky little brother. I'm your sister. Guys should let girls win. Got it?" Soon, the living room was filled with their noise. If it were anyone else, you'd let it go. But facing this rival you'd argued with for 3 years, you absolutely wouldn't give in. The next morning, a warm ray of sunlight shone on your face through the curtain. You instinctively raised your hand to block it, blearily opened your eyes and looked at the unfamiliar ceiling, suddenly sat up and looked around. After a while, you slapped yourself. The pain confirmed yesterday wasn't a dream. Yawning, you walked to the wardrobe, casually picked out a suit and put it on. Today, you had to go for an interview at Yinxiao Group, but you didn't plan to actually work under Su Jingyao, that bad woman. The interview was just for show. You deliberately performed poorly to get rejected. After leaving the villa, the driver opened the Rolls-Royce's back door and said respectfully, "Young master, President Su asked me to take you to the company. Please get in." Meanwhile, at the top floor General Manhwa's office of Yinxiao Group, Su Jingyao placed your photo on her desk, said calmly, "Today, the group has interviews. Go handle it. The person in this photo is my useless little brother. No matter what he says, just hire him." Secretary Zhou, who had been in the corporate world for years, immediately understood President Su's meaning, picked up the photo and smiled. "I understand what to do. President Su, if there's nothing else, I'll go down now." After the secretary left, Su Jingyao, who was working, slightly smiled. "Stinky little brother, did you really think I didn't know your plan? Trying to escape from your sister's grasp? In your dreams." Soon, it was interview time. The meeting room was full of people. Secretary Zhou sat at the head. Her sharp eyes scanned everyone. Everyone handed in their resumes, started introducing themselves. Either from prestigious foreign schools or top domestic universities. Several interviewers looked at the resumes, nodded in satisfaction. This year, they could recruit some good candidates. Secretary Zhou's expression didn't change. She kept tapping the table, as if waiting for something. Finally, everyone had introduced themselves. Only one male candidate was left. The interviewer asked doubtfully, "Where's your resume?" You said proudly, "No, I never bring a resume to interviews." After saying that, you felt a surge of satisfaction. It had been a while since you were this arrogant. "If they don't reject me, it's a crime against nature." Just as the female interviewer frowned, about to scold you, Secretary Zhou clapped and smiled. "Good, very good. Geniuses think differently from ordinary people. They do things in a unique way. Our group lacks high-end talent like you." You were stunned. Other candidates were also shocked, unable to believe their ears. Not bringing a resume is called genius thinking? The other interviewers were all shrewd. Seeing Secretary Zhou's attitude, they immediately understood. Quickly clapped in agreement. This series of flattery left you dumbfounded. You didn't even know you were this amazing. Half an hour later, in the General Manhwa's office, Su Jingyao was focused on reading documents. The office door suddenly burst open. You rushed in, furious. "Su Jingyao, you set me up. That Secretary Zhou was arranged by you, wasn't she? Do you want to make things hard for me that badly?" Disturbed, Su Jingyao slightly looked up. Her eyes showed a hint of coldness, exuding a strong sense of pressure. Her cold, mature voice carried an undeniable tone. "Call me sister." You felt weak under her gaze. Weakly called out, Sister." Su Jingyao nodded in satisfaction, stood up from behind the desk, walked over to you in high heels, reached out and patted your head, said softly, "Sister won't make things hard for you. Sister will protect you." You pouted. "Protect me?" More lie tease me. At 11 a.m. You were playing spider solitaire at your desk. Your colleagues were envious. After all, you were a connection brought in by Secretary Zhou. Even the department head had to pretend not to see. Then your phone screen lit up. A message popped up. "There's a dinner tonight. Come with me after work." Seeing the message, you sneered contemptuously, turned off your phone and set it aside. "You think I'll go just because you say so? Am I your pet dog?" You noticed a female colleague sneaking glances at you, so you turned and chatted with her openly. Meanwhile, in the General Manhwa's office, Su Jingyao watched the computer surveillance, gritted her teeth in anger. That stinky little brother. Not only did he not reply to my message, but he's also flirting with a female colleague. Just wait until after work. I'll deal with you. Finally, it was 5 p.m. You couldn't wait for work to end. Shot out lion arrow. Excitedly ran into the elevator. But when you stepped out on the first floor, you saw the person you least wanted to see. You turned to slip away, but a voice called out, "Come back here." You stopped, turned around with a grimace. "Sister, what a coincidence. Do you also lie to leave exactly on time?" Su Jingyao walked up to you, put her hand on your head and said playfully, "Slacking off at work, flirting with female colleagues, and not replying to my messages. Tell me, how do you want to die?" Before you could argue, Su Jingyao took you straight to a luxury hotel. You thought you'd be eating with Aunt Jean. After entering the private room, you found a strange middle-aged man inside, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, with a slight resemblance to Su Jingyao. "Jingyao, you're here. Sit down. It's been so long, and you didn't even call your dad." Su Hongyuan saw Su Jingyao's serious expression. A slight smile appeared on his face. As for you beside her, he didn't bother to look. Su Jingyao pulled you to sit opposite her father and quietly introduced, "This is my dad." You kept a straight face, but inside, you were shocked. Through your dad, who was living off a woman, you knew some things about the Su family. But why did Su Jingyao bring you to meet her dad? After a while, you pricked up your ears and listened. Finally understood why Su Jingyao's parents divorced. Her dad, for career and profit, left them and went abroad when she was young. Now he came back to take Su Jingyao abroad for development. 10 minutes later, seeing no hope of persuasion, Su Hongyuan sighed heavily, stood up and walked out of the private room. After Su Hongyuan left, you were thinking whether to comfort Su Jingyao when you saw her, with red eyes, pounce on you, burying her head in your chest, sobbing. You understood why she brought you. To have someone to talk to at a time like this. Shedding her aloof exterior, you realized how fragile she was inside. So fragile that a few words from her father could break her. But what you didn't know was how much Su Jingyao depended on you. 3 years ago, Su Jingyao wasn't as cheerful as now. She had been living in the pain of her parents' divorce. Until one day, by chance, she read your light novel. Your fictional world was beautiful. Lop was also beautiful. She longed for the pure Lop you described that could heal everything. A quiet night passed. On Saturday morning, Su Jingyao opened her eyes to the familiar ceiling. A bit confused, memories of last night flooded back. It seemed you had brought her back when she was asleep. Thinking of this, she quickly got up, looked down at her clothes. Disappointment showed in her eyes. For the first time, she doubted her own charm. She increasingly suspected you were gay. After her disappointment, Su Jingyao got up and changed. She was strict with herself. Even on weekends, she had to work. You woke up at noon. After washing up, you sat on the sofa watching videos. Time quickly passed to 4 p.m. Then your buddy Gu Fei called. "Lao Chen, where are you? Did you forget about tonight's class reunion?" You slapped your forehead. With so much happening, you really forgot. Luckily, there's still time. "I'll be right there." Hung up. You went to your room and quickly got ready, picked up the Maserati keys on the table. About half an hour later, outside an old neighborhood, Gu Fei, with a bandage on his head, was like a curious kid, touching everything in the car. Damn, you really made it big, driving a Maserati now. Seeing his bandage, you couldn't help asking, "What happened to your head?" "Who got you?" Mentioning the injury on his head, Gu Fei started sighing, as if recalling something bad. "After you texted me about your dad, I went home. But no matter how I asked, my dad wouldn't say he hooked up with a rich woman. Finally, my mom overheard. They both chased me 8 blocks." You silently gave him a thumbs up. Meanwhile, at the Houding Bun villa, Su Jingyao, who had rushed back after work, had planned to tease you to recharge, but only saw a mess on the coffee table. She pulled up the living room surveillance, found the footage of you leaving in the afternoon. A smile unconsciously formed on her lips, picked up her keys and walked out. "Stinky little brother, going out without telling your sister? Watch me give you a big surprise." Meanwhile, in the hotel private room, the table was full of dishes. The aroma was mouth-watering. Just as everyone was about to eat, the door opened. opened. Sorry, everyone, traffic was bad, so I'm a bit late. A man in a branded suit, holding a bouquet of roses, walked into the room. He had a smug look on his face, casually showing off his expensive watch. Goofei whispered to you, see that? This guy's family got over 5 million from demolition. He was showing off in the class group the day before yesterday, posted over a dozen statuses bragging, so pretentious. As they spoke, Ben Zimming walked up to the school beauty, Yi Qingxiao, with the roses. With a sincere look and a deep voice, he smiled. Qingxiao, I bought these most beautiful roses for you. To met the most beautiful person in my heart. His cheesy pickup line made the other classmates cringe. The next second, Yi Qingxiao accepted Ben Zimming's roses, a sweet smile on her fair face. Then she turned and looked in your direction, a victorious smile on her face, mockery in her eyes. Everyone there knew. You had chased Yi Qingxiao for 3 years in college, but she had always led you on. Now she accepted another guy's roses. If it were them, they'd probably want to die. But they didn't know. When you were rejected in college, you had no illusions about Yi Qingxiao anymore. You sighed and prepared to leave. Suddenly, a familiar laugh came from outside the private room. So lively in here. Are you all Xiaopeng's classmates? Hello, everyone. Do you mind if I join? Everyone looked toward the door. Almost all widened their eyes. What are you doing here? You stood up abruptly, looking at Su Jingyao walking in. While everyone was stunned, Su Jingyao intimately took your arm, glanced around at everyone. Her gaze lingered on Yi Qingxiao for 2 seconds. Then she said cheerfully, let me introduce myself. I'm Xiaopeng's sister. Thank you for taking care of him before. Take care of me? Let go of me. You pervert. You blushed. Never expected Su Jingyao to be so bold. You tried to pull your hand back, but Su Jingyao held it tightly. Seeing their somewhat taboo behavior, someone asked blankly, are you really siblings? I feel lie. Hearing this, Su Jingyao's smile grew even wider. She smiled calmly. Maybe it's because I'm a siscon. After all, with such an adorable little brother, who wouldn't be tempted? Everyone looked at you with envy. Yi Qingxiao's face turned very ugly. Just as the atmosphere turned awkward, you pulled Su Jingyao out of the private room. On a hazy moonlit night, a blue Maserati drove down the quiet street. You were driving. Su Jingyao sat in the passenger seat, enjoying the night view. He wasn't one to waste time on scenery. But somehow, when he was with you, those meaningless things seemed to become meaningful. A few minutes later, you spoke. I've always had a question. Why are you so good to me? Su Jingyao looked away from the window, staring straight at you, the driver. She replied, maybe because the moon is so beautiful tonight. You gave a speechless look. Fine, don't tell me then. Making up such a ridiculous excuse. It's so cloudy tonight. Where's the moon? That sentence shattered Su Jingyao's expectations. Her smile instantly darkened. She snapped at you, stinky little brother. No wonder you're single. With an attitude like that, you think you'll find a girlfriend? Any woman who likes you must be blind. The next day, while slacking off, you got a call from an unknown number. A steady male voice came through with a commanding tone. I'm Su Jingyao's father, Su Hongyuan. I need to talk to you. Tonight at 8, Before he could finish, you casually hung up, curling your lip. You think I'll just come because you say so? What a joke. With that, you put your phone aside, then went back to scrolling through videos of pretty girls on the Ween, completely focused. Meanwhile, in the chairman's office of Tian Mao Group in Shanghai, Su Hongyuan stared at the hung-up phone. His face darkened. After a long pause, he dialed another number. Find a way to bring that kid Lu Chin here. Make sure Jingjing doesn't find out. He hung up. Su Hongyuan stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Looking down at the city from above, he let out a heavy sigh. Jingjing, why can't you understand? Dad, everything I do is to give you a bigger stage. Only by following me will your potential be higher. Time quickly passed to nightfall. The bustling city of Shanghai was once again shrouded in darkness. At that moment, a long honk sounded. Outside the villa area, a Porsche slowly drove in. You sat in the passenger seat, looking at the international-style villas around. You exclaimed, these villas must cost a fortune. Rich people sure know how to enjoy life. Not that much, just about 100 million. Su Jingyao, who was riding, replied indifferently. Soon, the car stopped in front of a European-style villa. Hearing the commotion, Lu Jinghua pushed the door open and walked out. You're both here. Come on in. Tonight, Lan Man is cooking herself. You usually can't get her to cook. Hearing it was his own mother cooking, Su Jingyao's expression turned a bit unnatural. She gave Lu Jinghua a deep look. He looked back at her. They understood each other without words. After exchanging a glance, they entered the villa without saying much. In the kitchen, Qin Wanru was still preparing a big meal. Su Jingyao led you to a room on the second floor. She said calmly, this room is specially prepared for you. As she spoke, the door opened. It wasn't as luxurious or spacious as you imagined. The bedroom only had a bed, not even a blanket. It was as simple as it could get. Even you, who didn't have high standards for sleeping, felt disappointed. This is worse than my rented room. Su Jingyao's lips curled into a subtle smile. She leaned in from behind, whispering in your ear. Her sexy body almost pressed against yours, feeling the soft, warm touch on your back. You immediately widened your eyes and stiffened. Su Jingyao's soft voice came from your ear. What? Do you want to SE a room with your sister? If you're not afraid of being eaten, it's not impossible, you know. Those words made you blush. Unwanted scenes inevitably popped into your head. You quickly shook your head. I'm warning you, we're brother and sister. Can you watch your mouth? Seeing your cute reaction, Su Jingyao smiled. She turned and walked downstairs without looking back. The room next door is mine. There should be extra blankets in the closet. Go grab one and make your bed. If you catch a cold, your sister will feel sorry for you. You gritted your teeth, watching her back as she went downstairs. You couldn't understand why this woman always liked to tease you. You went to the room next door, turned on the light and pushed the door open. But the next second, the sight in front of you stunned you again. Isn't this her house? Why is her room so simple too? After you made your bed and went downstairs, Qin Wanru, wearing an apron, just came out of the kitchen, holding a plate of braised pork. The color was tempting, and the aroma was mouthwatering. You almost drooled. Just as you sat down at the table, ready to enjoy the meal, Lu Jinghua and Su Jingyao exchanged a glance. One headed toward the bathroom. The other turned and went upstairs. My stomach suddenly hurts a bit. You guys eat first. I need to use the restroom. This dish just came out of the pan. It's too hot. I'll go upstairs and take a shower first. Little brother, my mom rarely cooks. You should eat a lot. This is a taste you'll remember for a long time. In an instant, only you and Qin Wanru were left in the living room. You found their behavior strange but didn't think much of it. You picked up your chopsticks and grabbed a piece of braised pork. After taking a big bite and chewing a couple of times, your face changed instantly, and you stopped moving. A salty and bitter taste spread in your mouth. It was like eating raw tea leaves. Xiaopeng, what's wrong? Does Auntie's cooking not suit your taste? Seeing Qin Wanru's concerned look, you forced yourself to swallow. A forced smile appeared on your face. No, nothing. Auntie's cooking is really delicious. At that moment, you finally understood why those two had run off so fast. You were fuming inside. Su Jingyao, that bad woman. So this is the memorable taste you were talking about. And that bastard dad. He knew about this and didn't warn me. What a trap. After you finished all the food on the table, Lu Jinghua finally came out of the bathroom. He gave you a thumbs up. He walked out of the villa but came back shortly after, now holding 2 takeout boxes. He handed one to Su Jingyao, and the two of them started eating right in front of you. You naturally understood. This drew a complaint from Qin Wanru. That night, you ran to the bathroom over a dozen times. By the time you returned to your room at midnight, you were almost exhausted. The next morning, you, who were reluctant to go to work after a night of diarrhea, were dragged into the car, blanket and all, by Su Jingyao. You were on the verge of tears. I'm already a rich second generation. Why do I still have to go to work every day? What's the difference between this and being a corporate slave? Facing your complaints, Su Jingyao shoved the half-eaten sandwich into your mouth. You looked at the sandwich that had been bitten in half, with her saliva still on it. You couldn't help but look conflicted. Your first instinct was to throw it away, but then you hesitated, knowing Su Jingyao had eaten it. This counts as an indirect kiss, doesn't it? Facing a sister who looked like a celestial being. It would be a lie to say you weren't tempted, but you were brother and sister now. It was both a blessing and a curse. In the morning, at the planning department's third Tam's workstations, you lay on the desk, staring blankly. Other colleagues curiously glanced over. Usually, you were the most enthusiastic slacker, but now you were completely deflated. Did he overdo it last night? Meanwhile, in the president's office, Su Jingyao rested her chin on her hand, deep in thought. After a while, she spoke. Secretary Zhou, have you ever been in law? The sudden question caught Secretary Zhou off guard. Her first thought was that her ears were playing tricks on her. This President Su, who's colder than an iceberg, is asking about law. Secretary Zhou hesitated. Her mind raced. She leaned closer to Su Jingyao. Lowering her voice, she asked tentatively, do you mean with a man or a woman? She had worked for Su Jingyao for 2 years. At first, there were rich playboys pursuing her, but ever since Su Jingyao castrated one of them, no one dared to pursue her anymore. Could President Su be interested in me? Thinking this, Secretary Zhou couldn't help but take 2 steps back, a little scared. President Su, I already have a boyfriend. I really can't. Su Jingyao gave her a speechless look. She said flatly, I meant a man. Secretary Zhou finally breathed a sigh of relief. She leaned in close to Su Jingyao and began whispering. Being able to guide President Su in law was a sheet she could brag about for a lifetime. But as a flood of information entered Su Jingyao's mind, she nodded, half understanding, deciding to try what Secretary Zhou said on you. If she could, she wouldn't want to make the first move. But you were such a blockhead, she had hinted several times, with no response. Meanwhile, at a coffee shop in Shanghai, Gu Fei was sitting with 2 men in black suits. One of them pulled out a stack of red bills from his pocket, roughly estimated at 20,000. He placed it casually on the table and said flatly, as long as you help us get Xiaopeng out, this money is yours. Don't worry, we won't hurt him. Our bot just wants to talk to him about Miss Su. As a father worried about his daughter. That's normal, right? Gu Fei sized up the 2 men. He had only gone out to buy tissues, and was brought here right after leaving the store. They claimed to be Su Jingyao's father's men. Who do you think I am? Do I look like someone who would betray his brother? Xiaopeng is who? That's my damn brother. You think a little dirty money can make me betray my best friend? Before he could finish, the other man pulled out another stack of bills and slammed it on the table. Seeing this, Gu Fei coughed twice. I completely understand a father's concern for his daughter. He then took out his phone, found your number, and dialed. Soon, the call connected. Old Chin, that 60 you asked for. I finally got it from a friend. I'll send you the location. Come over now. With that, he hung up before you could respond. Under the 2 men's speechless gazes, Gu Fei grinned proudly. If you have more jobs like this, call me. I'll give you a discount. Half an hour later, you, who had sneaked out of the company, had just stepped out of the main gate when you were grabbed and thrown into a van. The van sped off. Inside, you struggled desperately but to no avail. You looked at the 2 men in black in the car, terrified. The car soon drove into the underground parking lot of a building. This was the headquarters of Tianmao Group. A few minutes later, in the chairman's office. Kid, you've got some nerve, daring to hang up on me. Su Hongyuan lounged in his executive chair, watching you, held up by 2 security guards. He took a cigar from the cabinet, cut the tip and lit it. You spoke with a blank expression. Let me make this clear first. This is illegal, you know. Guess what Su Jingyao would do if she found out? Would she come charging over here? Su Hongyuan ignored your words. He stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the bustling city below. With his back to you, he said calmly, from the moment Jingjing brought you to see me, I knew you held an important place in her heart. That's why I was very discreet this time. Kid, I'm warning you. You two are not meant to be. You'll only hold her back. Leave my daughter. I'll give you 5 million. Hearing this, you realized he thought you and Su Jingyao were together. Little did he know, you only had a 3-year bad relationship with her, but Su Jingyao's kindness to you were very clear about. So the next second, you pointed right at Su Hongyuan's nose and said, before you called me here, you should have done your homework on me. Do you know how heartbroken she was? The day you left? Money can buy many things, but it can never buy love. Because you spoke too fast, your chest heaved heavily, but your expression was exceptionally firm. You didn't regret a single word you said. Su Hongyuan's face instantly darkened. In all his years in Shanghai, no one had ever pointed at him and cursed like that. Before he could say anything, you snorted coldly, turned and walked out of the office. Seeing the bot didn't say anything, the 2 security guards didn't stop you and wisely stepped aside. Soon, only Su Hongyuan was left in the vast office. Just then, a small door in the office opened, and a graceful figure walked out. It was Su Jingyao. The words you just said, she had heard every word clearly. Su Hongyuan felt a pang of regret. He shouldn't have let Su Jingyao come. He had thought you would abandon Su Jingyao for the money. He never expected it to turn out like this. I told you long ago, he's fundamentally different from you. So please stop interfering in my life from now on. After leaving those words, Su Jingyao also turned and walked out of the office. On the other side, you walked out of Tianmao Group, about to hail a taxi back to the company to continue slacking off. Suddenly, a Rolls-Royce pulled up from behind, stopped beside you, and the driver's window rolled down. To your surprise, it was your stepmother, Qin Wanru. Xiaopeng, what a coincidence. I was just planning to make something delicious for you and Jingjing tonight. If you're fry, come with Auntie to the supermarket to buy groceries. Hearing that Qin Wanru was going to cook a big meal again tonight, your face changed immediately, and you gave an awkward smile. Well, you see, I was actually planning to go home and rest. If you don't come, I'll tell Jingjing that you snuck out during work hours. Guess how she'll punish you. Hearing this, you sighed, forced to smile. Actually, I love grocery shopping. In the end, you were forced into your stepmother's car, sitting in the passenger seat of the Rolls-Royce, while comforting your stomach in your mind. You silently wept inside. With a roar from the Rolls-Royce, it headed toward the nearest fresh supermarket. But a few minutes later, you realized the car had unknowingly arrived at the Yunxiao Group building. At that moment, Qin Wanru pulled over, turned her head and smiled lightly. All right, Xiaopeng. For dinner, you should eat with Jingjing. Your dad and I are going on a trip for the next couple of days. Of course, if you want to eat, Auntie can. You got out of the car without hesitation. No need, Auntie, thank you. With that, you fled into the company, but you never accepted. As soon as you stepped through the company door, Su Jingyao was already standing at the elevator entrance, pretending not to see you. You had no choice but to follow her into the General Manhwa US office with a bitter face. In the office, Su Jingyao lounged in her chair, a cold, beautiful face showing traces of chill. Lie a judge sentencing a criminal, she said. Spill it. My dear little brother, I let your slacking off slide. But why did you sneak out this time? You stood there trembling. It's too embarrassing. Can I not say? I'll give you 3 seconds to think. If you don't tell me by then, starting tomorrow, you'll be cleaning the toilets. At that moment, your hatred for Gu Fei grew even stronger. If it weren't for him tempting you with that kind of 60-0, you wouldn't be in this mess. But you gritted your teeth and told the truth. Hearing it was such a vulgar reason. Even Su Jingyao felt speechless inside. Isn't my charm enough? Why does this stinky little brother still want to watch videos? She stood up and walked toward you. Since that's the case, your punishment is to go shopping with me tomorrow. If you dare refuse, you're dead. Just then, Secretary Zhou walked in. Seeing this, she couldn't help but ask in confusion, President Su, didn't you just go out? Back so soon? Hearing this, you immediately widened your eyes and shouted angrily, what the hell? Didn't you sneak out too? Why am I the only one being punished? I don't accept this. I protest. Su Jingyao rested her chin on her hand, thinking for a moment. Fine, then I'll punish myself by going shopping with you. You started cursing in your mind. That's just great. Women are truly unreasonable creatures. That night, you tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep, remembering how Su Jingyao had threatened you during the day. You had spilled the beans about watching videos with your buddy. She had even somehow saved the chat logs between you and your friend. The more you thought about it, the angrier you got. Finally, you mustered the courage to quietly leave your room. You tiptoed to Su Jingyao's room, pressing your ear against the door. After confirming there was no sound inside, you excitedly grabbed the door handle. Normally, sneaking into a girl's room was something you would never do, but remembering that Su Jingyao had your embarrassing history on her phone, you still gathered the courage to enter the room. The door opened. You tiptoed in quietly. The curtains were drawn, and it was pitch black. The air was filled with a unique feminine fragrance. A figure lay quietly on the bed. A section of smooth, delicate calf was exposed under the blanket, making you take a second look. Then you shook your head, looked away, and used the blanket to cover Su Jingyao's legs. You looked around the room, and successfully found the phone charging on the nightstand. Opening it, as expected, it required a pat good or fingerprint. Seeing this, you had to muster the courage to go to the other side of the bed. Looking at Su Jingyao sleeping with her eyes closed, you reached out a trembling hand. Just as you were about to press Su Jingyao's finger on the screen, you never expected, she suddenly grabbed your wrist, pulling you, who was half lying on the bed, into her arms. Before you could react, her long legs wrapped around your waist. Then you heard Su Jingyao murmur in your ear, "Dogman, you're mine." Hearing this, your heart, which was in your throat, relaxed. She's just dreaming. But what does Dogman mean? Does this woman have a boyfriend? Well, it's normal. She's so beautiful. She must have plenty of suitors. But for some reason, you felt a pang of disappointment. Without time to think, you quickly pressed Su Jingyao's finger on the screen, unlocked it, and deleted the photos. You freed yourself from Su Jingyao's embrace, put the phone back in its place, and quietly walked out of the dark room. Su Jingyao lay in bed, her pretty face slightly flushed. The next morning, just as dawn broke, cicadas chirped outside the window. When Su Jingyao came out of her room, you, dressed in an apron, were just carrying a pot of porridge out of the kitchen. You naturally greeted her. "Up already? Come and have breakfast." Su Jingyao walked to the table and sat down, watching you ladle the porridge into a bowl. A charming smile appeared on her face. "Stinky little brother, isn't it strange? When I woke up, all the photos on my phone were deleted. Who do you think did it?" Hearing this, your heart skipped a beat, but you were mentally prepared. You replied calmly, "I don't know. Maybe it was hacked." Hackers are really good these days. They can easily hack someone's phone and do shady things. Hearing this, Su Jingyao's smile grew even wider. She didn't call you out on your act. After breakfast, the two of you changed clothes and left the house. To avoid being stared at lie monkeys, Su Jingyao chose a domestic car worth over 100,000 from the garage. Since it wasn't a holiday, there was almost no traffic. Soon, the two of you drove to the largest Huiying shopping mall in Shanghai and walked inside. You lazily curled your lip. "What do you want to buy? Let's agree first. If you buy a ton of stuff again, I'm not carrying it for you." Hearing this, Su Jingyao tapped your head, crossed her arms and snorted. "So many people would love to carry my bags but never get the chance. And you, stinky little brother, dare to complain? No wonder you're single." Hearing her say that, you immediately got annoyed. You're one to talk. You're 2 years older than me, and you're still single too. If you don't find someone soon, you'll end up as an old maid. Who would want you then? As soon as you said that, the atmosphere fell silent for a few seconds. Then your miserable scream echoed through the mall. Not long after, Su Jingyao walked into a lipstick store. You followed behind with a resentful look. Rubbing your butt, you followed her. "Looking at lipstick? We have several popular styles here, and this is the newest one." The soft clerk smiled and took out a beautifully packaged lipstick from the counter. Su Jingyao looked into the cabinet and started picking from nearly 100 lipsticks. You sat by the door and took out your phone to text Gu Fei. "You dog, you dared to team up with outsiders to set me up. How do you want to die this time?" He replied instantly. All right. Don't I know you well enough? How about I treat you to a massage tomorrow? Top to your service. Gotta go. My bot is coming. Talk later." You were speechless. This guy always brushes things off like this. Just as you put down your phone, Su Jingyao walked up to you with a lipstick. Blinking, she asked, "How does it look? Does this shade suit me?" You stood up and took a closer look, then held back a laugh and shook your head. "You're just not meant to wear lipstick. Forget it." With Su Jingyao's looks, even without these things, no one can compare. "Don't laugh at me." Su Jingyao lost her mood to pick. After returning the lipstick to the clerk, she rolled up her non-existent sleeves and walked toward you. "How dare you mock your sister? Stinky little brother, you really need some discipline." Seeing Su Jingyao approaching with a bad look, the smile on your face slowly faded, gradually replaced by fear. As expected, you got a scolding. Then Su Jingyao dragged you around the mall all day. Only then were you finally free. I wonder which unlucky guy that bad woman will end up with if he gets dragged shopping every day. Just thinking about it is terrifying. But the next day, as soon as Su Jingyao opened her eyes, she saw a beautifully packaged lipstick quietly placed on the bedside table. It was the same one she showed you yesterday. She was pleasantly surprised. A lipstick alone wasn't enough to make her this het pie, but the key was that you bought it for her. Su Jingyao sat at the vanity and applied the lipstick, pursing her red lips. Her delicate face showed barely concealed joy. This guy isn't that dense after all. At 9 a.m., the planning department room was tense. The meeting's outcome would determine if they got a good project next month and earn more commissions. But you looked relaxed, in the corner, casually watching videos. Soon, the crisp sound of high heels came from outside the office. Then the office door opened. Su Jingyao and a group of executives walked in. Now, she didn't have the girlish demeanor she showed in front of you. Her cold eyes gave immense pressure to the employees present. Su Jingyao walked to the main seat at the front and sat down, glancing around the meeting room. After pausing on you for 2 seconds, she spoke calmly. "Since everyone's here, let's begin. I hope your proposals won't disappoint me." At this, everyone broke out in a cold sweat in the entire meeting room. Probably only you weren't intimidated by Su Jingyao's powerful presence. And Shun was the first planner. A thin man, with heavy dark circles under his glasses, walked to the big screen, took a deep breath and began speaking. A few minutes later, you, already bored by his rambling, yawned. The next second, a cold glare shot at you, scaring you into straightening your back immediately. Seeing this, Su Jingyao nodded in satisfaction. After the first 2 groups finished their reports, it was finally the 3rd group's turn, which was yours. You lazily got up and walked to the big screen, and read the proposal your team leader gave you in a monotone. No highlights at all, but Su Jingyao looked very serious from the audience. Soon, you finished and stepped down. The executives all shook their heads inside. At least the other 2 groups' proposals were listenable, but your group's plan was truly unbearable. Just as the executives were about to give their feedback on you, Su Jingyao suddenly started clapping, and said calmly, "Xiao Peng did a good job. The proposal is also well done." At this, the meeting room fell silent. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone looked incredulous. It was clearly a patchwork proposal. How could that be called good? The executives exchanged glances. A glint flashed in their eyes. They quickly reacted and started clapping. With bright smiles, they praised. The third group's proposal is indeed good this time. This young man has great potential. Looks like our group will have another talented person. I think this proposal is feasible. I suggest we approve it directly. The others looked at each other, still confused, but their bodies cooperated with the applause. After the meeting ended, you couldn't wait to leave the meeting room and rush back to your desk as fast as possible. Turned on your computer to watch a new anime. Su Jingyao had just returned to her office and sat down. Her secretary, Joe, followed with documents and smiled. President Su, you're not giving special treatment to young Master Lu just because he's your brother, are you? Today, Su Jingyao only flying forwards, parties together. If the first group always gets the benefits, then the other two groups will lose their competitive drive. It's not good for the other employees' motivation. A busy day quickly ended. At the company's main entrance, a Porsche was quietly parked there. After a while, the driver came back, got in the car and said cautiously to Su Jingyao in the backseat, President Su, young Master Lu said he has important business tonight and might be home late. Su Jingyao nodded. Meanwhile, elsewhere, at the entrance of the Jinshio Massage City, two women in red cheongsams and black high heels were greeting passersby. Soon, Attack 11 stopped in front of the door. You got out of the car. Looking at the massage parlor in front of you, then at Yu Fei beside you, you asked suspiciously, are you sure this is a legitimate massage? I'm telling you, man, I'm just a bit tired these days and want to relax with a massage. Don't drag me into anything shady. Gu Fei said seriously. Don't worry, buddy, it's totally legit. The two of you walked toward the massage parlor, led by a young lady. After paying, you arrived in front of one of the rooms. Just as you were about to enter, you heard a sharp shout from the counter. Freeze! Police, anti-vice operation. Everyone, get down. Half an hour later, at the entrance of the Shanghai police station, Su Jingyao, wearing pajamas underneath and a black coat over them, led you out. So this is your important business? You're really my good little brother. You sure made your sister proud. Her cold voice mixed with the wind reached your ears. You lowered your head, not daring to speak. You thought, since you never had a massage before, you wanted to try it. But you didn't expect to get caught before you even started. And the worst part was that Su Jingyao, that bad woman, found out. Now your reputation was completely ruined. On the way home in the car, the two of you sat quietly in the back seat. Neither spoke again. The atmosphere gradually became oppressive. So oppressive that you could barely breathe. Not long after, the car was happy and drove a bit further. Before stopping at your home, you felt nervous and got out of the car reluctantly, pushed open the door and walked into the brightly lit living room. Because the air conditioning was on, the temperature inside was noticeably higher. Su Jingyao took off her black coat directly, turned around and said to you calmly, go lie down on the sofa. You instinctively shrank your neck and asked quietly, what do you want to do? Su Jingyao glanced at you, couldn't help but want to laugh inside. With this stinky little brother's courage, he gets scared just seeing me. How could he dare to do that kind of thing? He didn't even take the chance yesterday. Classic case of all talk, no action. She explained patiently. Didn't you want a massage? I learned a bit before. Since you're my stinky little brother, I'll make an exception and give you one today. Hearing this, you were half convinced. Walked to the sofa and lay down, face down. Then, as Su Jingyao massaged you, she said softly, if you're really tired, you don't have to sit through all 8 hours. If you can't take it anymore, just go lie down in my office for a bit. Just don't let the other employees see. To avoid a bad influence, you couldn't help but ask, are you an angel? I guess only an angel would be this good to me. Su Jingyao, who was massaging you, suddenly broke into a charming smile on her cold face. She couldn't help but lean her head close to your ear and whispered softly, Det, big sister belongs only to you. Are you falling for your sister? Only belongs to you. She emphasized these words. Your ears instantly turned red, and you thought to yourself, this woman is teasing me again, deliberately saying things that could be misunderstood. Seeing you so shy, Su Jingyao smile grew even wider. She couldn't help but gently hug you from behind. You panicked and stammered. What do you want to do? This kind of intimate gesture is way too much. Don't move. Let me hold you for a bit. Su Jingyao's voice softened. Big sister wants to hug her little brother. That's normal, right? I'm a brother addict. You didn't dare to speak anymore. Your face was burning hot. After a long while, Su Jingyao finally let go of you, turned and walked upstairs to her room. Without saying a word, you felt a bit disappointed, but quickly suppressed that thought, silently telling yourself, she's my sister. This is just for being affectionate to her brother. I can't have any improper thoughts about her. But you didn't notice. Su Jingyao, walking upstairs, her back to you. Her pretty face was already bright red, thinking about her risky move just now. Her steps upstairs unconsciously quickened. Good thing I didn't lose control just now, or I would have been caught. The next morning, because of last night's events, Su Jingyao didn't sleep well all night. Both of you decided to take the day off. In the living room, Su Jingyao, wearing shorts, was lying on the sofa watching music. You were forced to lie on her lap. Even though you said forced, to be honest, your sister's legs were both fragrant and stringy. Some single guys might never experience this treatment in their lives. Su Jingyao's attention wasn't on the Moose 6 at all. It was all on you. Being under the same roof with someone you care about, sharing the same hobbies, and being able to imagine a peaceful life in the future. Wasn't this exactly what she had always wanted? She suddenly said softly, it's so good to have you here. You immediately nodded seriously. I think so too. Wait, no, I mean, it's really good. Seeing you nervously explain, Su Jingyao laughed heartily. With her naturally delicate oval face, it made you a bit dazed. Only in front of you would Su Jingyao laugh from the heart. When she was alone, she couldn't help but think about the past and the future, full of worries. The Moose 6 ended quickly. You looked up at Su Jingyao, blinked, and said coquettishly, Sister, I'm hungry. I want to eat. Sister will take you out to eat. Su Jingyao readily agreed. After changing clothes, you and Su Jingyao walked out of the house, got in the car and still chose that low-key domestic car. Left the villa area. You took her to a hot restaurant near the school, got some barbecue and 2 black pepper steaks, and started eating eagerly, taking big bites, not forgetting to glance at Su Jingyao across from you. Seeing her eating small bites without complaining, you breathed a sigh of relief. You were worried earlier that this young lady wouldn't lie this time to small talk. After the meal, to not waste this rare holiday, you took Su Jingyao to the snack street arcade near the university town. Just as you arrived at the arcade, Su Jingyao pulled you to a claw machine, pointing at the pink panda inside. She said, I want this one. You looked at her in surprise. Never expected she liked plush toys. You patted your chest and said, wait for me. Then walked to the coin machine and scanned to pay. Only took 10 gem coins. Walked back to the claw machine and said confidently, watch closely, girl. I inhaled this time machine in one hand. Su Jingyao immediately smacked you on the head and said irritably, no respect. Just grab it. If you can't get it, I'll tell Uncle about getting caught at our house. 20 minutes later, Su Jingyao looked at you expressionlessly. Sweat was beading on your forehead. She said calmly, you've already said 200 coins. How do you could have bought several dolls by now. Can you even do this? Can't is the biggest insult to a man. You got angry and slapped the machine. Coincidentally, you hit the button. The claw slowly descended, and by chance, hooked onto the tags of 2 dolls. Under your and Su Jingyao's surprised gazes, it steadily fell into the exit slot. You quickly crouched down, and took out the pink panda and blue panda, proudly smiling at Su Jingyao. See that? That's my real skill. Got 2 in one go. Hand them over. Su Jingyao took the dolls and complained. Wasting so much time. I should have just bought them directly. As the sky gradually darkened, you ended this wonderful day. After all, you had to work the next day. The next morning at 8 a.m. In the General Manhwa office. A bit more force on the left. Singular rudder. Did you not eat or eat? Su Jingyao leaned back in her chair, looking very comfortable. You gritted your teeth and massaged her shoulders, cursing this woman in your mind 800 times. In the past, you would have taught her a lesson, but thinking about the leverage she had over you had to endure it. Xiaopeng, go get me a glass of water. Su Jingyao ordered again. You said irritably, do you want it hot or cold? How dare you talk back to me? Su Jingyao raised an eyebrow. Do you believe I'll tell uncle about that? Hot or warm? You immediately gave in, took the water glass from the table, walked to the water dispenser, poured out hot water, then walked to the air conditioner, felt the cup wasn't hot anymore, then handed it to Su Jingyao. Su Jingyao watched your every move, smiled and took the cup. Having a sneaky little brother to bother around is so comfortable. Don't have to do anything yourself. It's great. After pouring the water, you were tired too, and lay down on the nearby sofa, opened your phone and played that two-word game. This was way more comfortable than slacking off at your desk, and you didn't have to worry about disturbing others. Su Jingyao saw this and didn't say anything. In fact, she thought it was perfect. It kept you from flirting around outside, in case some wildflower caught your eye. Where would she find such a well-behaved brother? The afternoon passed quickly. In the evening, Qingwan would return from her trip call, saying she brought you some local specialties and wanted to have dinner together. On the way home, thinking about the disaster of the last meal, you were still traumatized. You said to Su Jingyao beside you, let's agree first. If Aunt Jean is cooking tonight, remember to signal me when you're about to sneak away. We'll run together. I don't want to have diarrhea all night again. Su Jingyao ignored you and played with her phone. When you arrived at Hading Gaiyuan and heard that Lu Xingguo was cooking, you finally breathed a sigh of relief, plumped down on the sofa, and turned on the TV to pass the time. Su Jingyao also sat down, but deliberately kept some distance from you. Just then, and handed it to your mouth, smiling. Xiaopeng, your dad said you like snacks. Auntie bought these pastries especially for you. Try them and see how they taste. You opened your mouth and ate it. Beside you, Su Jingyao was staring at the TV, but her peripheral vision was fixed on this scene. Seeing her mom directly feeding you, she felt a surge of displeasure. Singular brother, can't you keep some distance from other women? Qin Wanru suddenly said, Xiaopeng, you're not young anymore. See if there's anyone suitable. Start dating, and in 2 years you can get married. At these words, you were shocked. She was panicked. Su Jingyao quickly said, little brother isn't ugly. Why rush to find a girlfriend? Qin Wanru looked at her usually calm daughter with panic in her eyes, deliberately tilted her head and asked in confusion, I'm telling Xiaopeng to find a girlfriend. Why are you in a rush? Who's in a rush? I'm not in a rush. Su Jingyao's face turned red. Qin Wanru laughed inwardly and turned to you, reached out and patted your shoulder, and said earnestly, it's settled then. Without giving you a chance to speak, she turned and walked toward the kitchen. In the kitchen, Lu Xingguo had heard everything clearly. Seeing Qin Wanru come in, he leaned in and asked in a low voice, didn't you say before that you wanted to set up Jingjing and Xiaopeng? Why are you sending Xiaopeng to a matchmaking event now? Qin Wanru rolled her eyes at him. Are you stupid? I'm speeding up their relationship. But the next morning, Su Jingyao in the driver's seat was expressionless, radiating a chilling aura. The man she couldn't bear to touch herself. Now she had to send him out for other women to pick. Who could be in a good mood? You, beside her, also looked innocent. You didn't want to go to the matchmaking event at all. When you arrived at the matchmaking corner in the park, Su Jingyao said coldly to you, we're just here to look around today, not for a real matchmaking. If you dare to flirt, I'll tell uncle about you getting caught at the bathhouse and sneaking into my room late at night. You know the consequences. Thinking about the consequences, you couldn't help but shiver and quickly agreed immediately, thinking to yourself, why is this woman getting scary again? The two of you had just walked a bit when you caught the attention of many people. Both men and women were impressed. The man was handsome, the woman was beautiful. You two were rare finds. In matchmaking, most women want a rich man. Most men want a beautiful woman. Soon, a man blocked Su Jingyao's path and confidently introduced himself in English. Hello, madam. My name is Kevin. Just returned from the United States. I think we can have a deeper conversation. He thought he was good enough and was definitely a top catch at the matchmaking event. But he happened to run into Su Jingyao. Sure enough, Su Jingyao said coldly, shut up, get lost. Then, with some force, she pushed the man to the ground. The man winced in pain. The people around started murmuring, what kind of person is this? After that interruption, you successfully reached the core area of the matchmaking event. In the center was a high platform. A woman called Aunt Lee was setting up a net for a man. The crowd watching below was packed. The scene was very noisy. Just then, Aunt Lee on stage had just found a woman and was struggling to choose a man. Suddenly, she spotted you. Her eyes lit up, and she pointed at you and shouted, hey, young man, stop looking around. I'm talking to you. Come up here. With so many people staring at you, your scalp was tingling. You had no choice but to go up on stage. After both sides were on stage, Aunt Lee, this young man is pretty good, isn't he? Introduce yourself first. The woman confidently introduced herself. Aunt Lee immediately showed a surprised expression. This girl, though a bit older, has really good qualifications. Finding a man shouldn't be hard for her. Then, Aunt Lee looked at you. Your turn. You said, call me. My name is Zhu Fei. I just graduated from Magic City University this year. I'm currently an intern. No house, no car. At the same time, looked around in confusion. That's strange. Who's talking about me behind my back? How dare they gossip about me? Could it be that I've been overdoing it lately, making me weak? Half an hour later, Su Jingyao stood under a 3-meter tall green tree. You stood beside her. With a flattering smile, you said, my good sister, did I do well? Didn't embarrass you, right? Su Jingyao lips curled up. She reached out her fair hand and ruffled your hair. You passed, didn't embarrass me. Let's go. As a reward, I'll take you for a seafood feast. After leaving the city park, Su Jingyao took you to a nearby outdoor Western restaurant. At the restaurant, Su Jingyao skillfully cut the steak on her plate, but you just grabbed yours with your hands and gnawed on it, as rough as possible. Seeing you lie this, Su Jingyao asked with a smile, Xiaopeng, what's your ideal type? You were lost in the delicious food. Without thinking, you replied, someone lie you. But it'd be perfect if she had a better personality. You didn't notice that casual remark, but it stirred up a storm in Su Jingyao's calm heart. She even stopped what she was doing. Her mind kept mulling it over. Someone lie me means my stinky little brother likes me. While she was lost in thought, you had already finished your steak. Seeing her sitting there dumbfounded, you just took her cut up steak, eating it happily. You don't lie it? Then I'll be generous and finish it for you. After lunch, a sudden trouble came up at the company. Su Jingyao had to cut her vacation short and brought you back to the company. The issue started with the deputy sales Manhwa taking bribes. Secretary Zhou found the evidence. This time, the amount was over 10 million. It had long crossed Su Jingyao's line. Su Jingyao dealt with it until evening before finishing. On the way back, she didn't even have the mood to tease you. Seeing this, you didn't bother her. Once home, you went straight to your room. You couldn't help. The only thing you could do was not cause Su Jingyao trouble. For the next 3 days, Su Jingyao was worried and frowning because of this. At work on Wednesday, your colleague Tang Xiaoyu was full of worry. After hesitating for a while, she leaned close to your ear and whispered something. You were a bit puzzled after hearing it. This is no small matter. Are you sure you heard right? Tang Xiaoyu nodded firmly. I'm sure, seeing she wasn't joking. You thought for a moment and said, oh cool, I'll go check it out with you after work. If it's really lie you said, you'll have made a huge contribution this time. The afternoon passed quickly. In the car downstairs at the company, Su Jingyao sat in the passenger seat, her face full of exhaustion. Seeing you hadn't come out for a while, she frowned. She was about to call, but her phone received a message from you. Go home first. I have something important to do. I'll be back late. Don't wait for me for dinner. Su Jingyao saw the message. Her already bad mood got even worse. Is this stinky little brother going for a massage again? She immediately had the security department track the surveillance. 10 minutes later, the security department replied, President Su, young Master Lu left the company with a female colleague after work. Su Jingyao frowned even tighter. She immediately had the driver chase after them. Soon, they caught up with you and Tang Xiaoyu walking on the roadside, but she never expected that you would walk into a couple's hotel. Seeing this, Su Jingyao gritted her teeth and said, go home. Meanwhile, in the hotel suite, you and Tang Xiaoyu were quietly leaning by the door, pressing your ears to the door, listening. After a long while, finally, there was movement in the hallway, the voices of a man and a woman talking. Until the door of the next suite closed, it went quiet. Although the voices were low, you still recognized one of them. It was the company's vice president, Zhao Hongyi. As for the other person, you didn't know. Actually, you came here because Tang Xiaoyu felt stuffy during yesterday's lunch break and wanted to go to the rooftop for air. She happened to overhear Zhao Hongyi calling a rival company, saying he was going to sell the company's project plan, and mentioned the meeting place was here. Now, you quickly took out your phone. The screen showed a call in progress. Before coming, you used Tang Xiao's phone to connect to a wireless Bluetooth headset. First, you called your own phone. Then, through the suite's balcony window, you tossed one earbud under the bed in the next room. This way, you could eavesdrop on the next room's conversation through that earbud. Soon, a woman's voice came from the next room. This is a token of sincerity from our bot. Please accept it. Then Zhao Hongyi's voice, with a satisfied laugh, pleasure doing business. Then the sound of a zipper. You guessed he had opened that black briefcase. Not long after, Zhao Hongyi's voice came again. This is the core secret of Yunxiao Group. Take it, your heart tightened. In the city center of Modu, there was a private middle school to be demolished. Many real estate companies were eyeing that land. The most competitive were Yunxiao Group and Longtiang Group. It seemed that woman was the secretary of Longtiang Group's chairman. She came to get Yunxiao Group's plan and base price. Once the plan was taken, all of Su Jingyao's efforts these days would be wasted. Thank you, Vice President Zhao. The woman's voice was eager, as if she wanted to reach for the plan, but Zhao Hongyi dodged her and said with a sly smile, if you want the plan, it depends on your performance later. The woman understood immediately and gave a charming laugh. Then came the sound of clothes rustling, followed by some blush-inducing noises. You coughed lightly and quickly turned off the recording. Let's go. We're getting out of here. After leaving the hotel, you hailed a TAC 11 and gave Tang Xiaoyu a few instructions. First, you sent her home. Then you headed towards Hading Bun. Just as you reached the door, the driver, who had been waiting, pulled you aside. He lowered his voice and told you about Su Jingyao seeing you and Tang Xiaoyu entering the hotel. Briefly. But just then, the villa door opened. Su Jingyao heard the noise and came out. She looked at you coldly, her voice icy. You still have the nerve to come back. You shrugged. If you don't want me here, then I'll just leave. With that, you turned and walked away. Without any hesitation, Su Jingyao was stunned. She thought you would panic and explain. She didn't expect you to leave without looking back. She was shaking with anger. Fine, leave then. Better never come back. You walked down the street. In your heart, you knew clearly. You weren't stupid. From Su Jingyao's recent actions, you had long seen that she had feelings for you, but then you thought again. You came from a single-parent family with nothing. Su Jingyao, on the other hand, was a brilliant and talented woman. If it weren't for your father's connection, you would never have crossed paths with her in this life. Rather than letting the relationship grow closer and having to struggle to maintain the sibling boundary, it was better to use this chance to draw a clear line. Of course, you knew this couldn't be hidden for long, but you wanted to give her a clear answer through this. You two weren't right for each other. Then you messaged Tang Xiaoyu, telling her not to mention herself in the report. Just say it was all you're doing. Tang Xiaoyu was confused, but she obediently agreed. But you never expected that you had underestimated Su Jingyao's feelings for you. The next day, you didn't go to work. Instead, you rode Gufei's electric scooter to deliver food. Before Yunxiao Group fired you, you had to make do with delivering food. Luckily, you often worked part-time in college and were familiar with the surrounding roads, so delivering wasn't too hard. Meanwhile, at the General Manhwa's office of Yunxiao Group, Su Jingyao looked at the surveillance showing your empty workstation. Couldn't help but clench her fists. Mu Chen, why won't you explain to me? Her eyes glanced at the pink panda on the desk. It was a doll you had caught before. Your face instantly flashed in her mind. Her intuition told her that you weren't the type to mess around outside, but what she saw with her own eyes made her have to believe it. Just as Su Jingyao was feeling troubled, Secretary Zhou suddenly pushed open the office door and quickly walked over to her, whispering something. Su Jingyao frowned slightly after hearing it. Are you sure this is true? Secretary Zhou nodded seriously, took out her phone and played a recording, playing it in front of her. The recording was of Zhao Hongyi and the Longtiang Group secretary talking. Su Jingyao's face gradually darkened. Her mind, which had been stagnant since you left, started racing. This recording was supposedly secretly made by Tang Xiaoyu, but based on her understanding of Tang Xiaoyu, with Tang Xiaoyu's abilities, there was no way she could have gotten this recording alone. Plus, yesterday Tang Xiaoyu went to the couple's hotel with you. Su Jingyao suddenly stood up. Without a word, she quickly walked out of the office. She finally understood. You were trying to reject her through this, but who gave you the right to choose? How dare you? Su Jingyao gritted her teeth. Even if she had to tie you up, she would bring you back. She first went to the planning department to find Tang Xiaoyu, asking where you were, but Tang Xiaoyu nervously said she didn't know. Su Jingyao had to give up. She called you many times, but no one answered. With no other choice, she used the most basic method, driving around the city looking for you. On the other side, you were immersed in delivering food, feeling terrible. In this hot weather, delivering food was like going to hell, and the pay was low. The afternoon passed quickly, and it got dark. You rode the scooter to pick up Gufei, who had just gotten off work. You found a nearby barbecue stall, planning to have a good drink. You drank until late at night. 2 bottles of liquor were completely finished. You and Gufei couldn't even walk. Supporting each other, you staggered. Your face was bright red. You burped and mumbled, "Good son." At this point, your father won't hide it from you anymore. Actually, that online girlfriend you had in your freshman year was me, using a fake oatsao. Bufei was stunned for a moment, then laughed. It's okay. Actually, that pile of stockings in your closet was secretly put there by me. You two looked at each other and laughed. Under the dim streetlight, supporting each other, you walked further and further away. When you passed a corner, you finally couldn't hold on, and both collapsed to the ground, falling asleep. Not long after, from the darkness not far away, a Porsche sped over. Then came the screech of brakes. The next second, the Porsche drifted to a smooth stop. The door opened, and Su Jingyao got out. She quickly walked over, grabbed your clothes, opened the back door, and threw you inside, then drove away, completely ignoring Bufei, who was still lying on the ground. The next morning, you groggily opened your eyes. Your head was pounding like it was about to explode. You patted your head and looked around. The room layout looked familiar. There was also a faint, elusive fragrance. After a moment, you finally accepted reality. You were in Su Jingyao's room, lying in her bed. You drank too much last night. You didn't remember anything. Could it be? Before you could think further, the door suddenly opened. Su Jingyao, wearing pajamas, walked in carrying a bowl of plain congee. She glanced at you, awake, and said calmly, "I made you some congee. Warm your stomach." You looked at the messy bed, then at yourself, only wearing boxers. You asked, on the verge of tears, "Last night, we didn't do anything we shouldn't have, did we?" Su Jingyao's lips curled slightly. She walked to the chair by the bed, sat down, and said softly, "A man and a woman alone in a room. What do you think we did?" I have to say, you were really tired, hearing this. Your mind instantly filled with chaotic images. You lay on the bed with a bitter face, looking utterly hopeless. "My chastity, which I've kept for over 20 years, is gone just like that." Seeing you lie this, Su Jingyao said helplessly, "Don't worry, I slept in your room last night. Why do you act like I'm the one who lost out?" Disgusting, you finally breathed a sigh of relief. Su Jingyao scooped up a spoonful of congee and brought it to your lips. Blinking her beautiful eyes, she said softly, "Open up. I can eat by myself. You don't have to feed me." You protested weakly. "Stinky man, I haven't settled the score with you about the day before yesterday. Just eat when I tell you to, or I'll slap you." Su Jingyao's eyes turned cold. Under her threatening gaze, you had no choice but to force yourself to drink the congee. Seeing you give in, Su Jingyao asked directly, "You know I lie you, don't you? I hinted at it so many times. You must have known. But why did you reject me? Give me a reason." You instinctively said, "You're a good person." Before you could finish, Su Jingyao's expression changed. She raised her hand and slapped your right cheek. She stared at you intently. "Wrong answer. Say it again." You covered your slightly singing right cheek, feeling both angry and wronged. Just as you were about to argue, seeing her raise her hand again, you immediately shrank your neck and pouted. "We're siblings after all, and you're so amazing. I'm not good enough for you." Su Jingyao kept looking at you, her tone firm. "I asked if you lie me. I lie you," you said softly. "Then that's it." Su Jingyao interrupted you. "Whether you're good enough is for me to decide. I say you're good enough, so you are." You were speechless, not knowing what to say. The bowl of congee was soon finished. Su Jingyao put the empty bowl aside, walked back to the bed and sat down, her expression serious. "When I first graduated, I didn't know why I was living. I often felt lost. When I was most helpless, you gave me the motivation to move forward. After spending time with you, I realized that the future might not be so bad. Xiao Peng, I really lie you." You looked at her incredibly serious expression, was silent for a moment, then suddenly raised your hand and punched yourself hard, hating your own weakness. After a long while, you finally spoke, your face red. "Su Jingyao, I lie you. I want to be with you." Hearing this answer, Su Jingyao's face finally broke into a brilliant smile. You also gathered your courage and slowly moved closer to her, just as the distance between you two was getting closer, and you were about to break through the barrier in your hearts. Suddenly, there was a noise from outside. "Jing, are you home?" Qin Wanru's voice rang out. Then the door was pushed open. Seeing you and Su Jingyao sitting upright in the room, she asked suspiciously, "What are you two doing secretly in the room in broad daylight?" "I called you, but you didn't answer." "I thought no one was home." "Mom, why are you here?" Su Jingyao smiled on the surface, but inside, she was in turmoil. So close. This mom, she couldn't come earlier or later. She had to come and ruin it now. "Your Uncle Luo and I just went to the phone store. This phone is 2 years old. Time for a new one. So I bought a set for you and Xiao Peng too." Qin Wanru shook the phone boxes in her hand. Su Jingyao knew the moment was lost, so she had to walk out of the room angrily. You quickly grabbed the clothes by the bed and put them on. Nervously, you thought about going downstairs, but Qin Wanru reached out and stopped you. Qin Wanru smiled playfully. "Strange, Xiao Peng, why are you sleeping in Jingjing's room? You two aren't." You scratched your head nervously. Forcing calm, you explained, "I drank too much last night. My sister brought me back. She slept in my room last night." "Oh, I see." Qin Wanru finally let you go. Smiling as she watched you leave, she nodded in satisfaction. "Looks like the son-in-law is settled, but moving in together so soon, that's developing too fast. I need to slow it down. You can't rush these feelings. It'll cause problems sooner or later." You were forcibly dragged by Su Jingyao to go shopping. On a bustling snack street nearby, you followed closely behind her. Your hand accidentally brushed against hers. You were startled and quickly pulled your hand back, but then you thought, that's not right. You had already confessed your feelings to each other. Even if it wasn't an official confession, you were at least a trial boyfriend. What's wrong with holding hands? With that thought, you gathered your courage and grabbed Su Jingyao's hand, holding it tightly. Your blood surged with nervousness. Su Jingyao's cheeks flushed slightly. She moved closer to you. Their bodies were almost touching. She suddenly spoke. "How should I punish you?" "I was helping you catch the traitor." You quickly explained. Su Jingyao turned to look at you. Her tone carried a hint of grievance. "I'll say it again. You went to a with another woman. You couldn't argue, so you asked with a bitter face. So what punishment do you have in mind?" "Let me know first. My salary for this month has already been deducted by you." Su Jingyao leaned close to your ear and said with a sly smile, "Then I'll punish you by making you stay by my side forever. You're not allowed to go anywhere. Summer is undoubtedly the most torturous. For you, you'd rather freeze to death than suffer this heat." So you and Su Jingyao just wandered around it and then went home. But as soon as you got home, your mother was out and moved in, saying the air conditioner there was broken, and they needed to stay here for a few days. What you didn't know was, this move was actually Qin Wanru's doing, to push your relationship with Su Jingyao further. At night in the villa, Lu Jinghua was in charge of cooking. You were in charge of washing dishes and wiping tables. Clear. When it was late and you went back to your room, Su Jingyao suddenly called, saying calmly, "I can't sleep. Chat with me for a while." "So, can't sleep or just want to talk to me?" You asked knowingly, with a smile. A few minutes later, you were chatting with her on the phone through the wall. You told her funny stories from college. But after just a little while, there was no sound on the other end. Clearly, Su Jingyao had fallen asleep listening. You lay in bed, not hanging up. Softly said, "Good night," then closed your eyes wearily and fell asleep. The next morning, you were woken up by Su Jingyao into your nose. You rubbed your red nose, dissatisfied. "Hey, what are you doing?" Su Jingyao stood with her arms crossed, looking at you expressionlessly. The first thing you say to your girlfriend after getting up is, "What are you doing?" "Hey, really? You jerk. Go die." You helplessly gave in. Oku, my dear good sister. Good morning. How about a kiss?" Get away. Disgusting. Hurry up and get up for breakfast. Starting today, you're coming to the company with me. Su Jingyao interrupted you. Before, to avoid people at the company. Plus, you like to sleep in. You and Su Jingyao went to the company at different times. Now, the whole company knew you were there through connections. And since you had broken that barrier, there was no need to avoid it anymore. After breakfast, Qin stood at the door, watching the car drive away. She said with a smile, "These two young ones really do look like a couple." Of course. Look whose son it is. Lu Jinghua walked over, looking proud. You had always been his pride. Graduated from a top university. Handsome and sunny. What woman wouldn't lie that? Qin rolled her eyes at him. "What are you looking at?" "Hurry up and wash the dishes." Lu Jinghua obediently replied and went to the kitchen. In the car on the way to the company. Without her mom's supervision, Su Jingyao fully unleashed her little devil nature. She couldn't wait to hug you. Looked up and said with a sly smile, "No one's watching us now. Don't you want to do something to me?" "Only right now, though. I'll agree to whatever you want to do." You finally let loose too. Slowly brought your head closer to hers. As the distance got closer, your heartbeat got faster and faster. The next second, you closed your eyes, felt your lips touch something soft. When you opened your eyes, Su Jingyao's face was right in front of you. Seeing your flushed face, she knew it was definitely your first kiss. A smile couldn't help but curl at the corners of her mouth. "My stinky little brother is just too cute." It usually took just over 10 minutes from having the UN to the company. But the driver seemed to deliberately slow down. It took a full half hour to get to the company. After entering the company, Su Jingyao immediately turned back into an icy woman, walking in high heels, with a women's suit jacket over her shoulders. She strides toward the office with full authority. Secretary Zhou was already waiting at the door. Seeing him approach, she opens the door and says softly, "President Su, according to the investigation, Vice President Zhao's behavior is indeed suspicious. The recording Tang Xiaoyu gave is likely real. A vice president leading a betrayal of company interests is no small matter. It might even implicate many senior executives." Su Jingyao walks to her seat and sits down. She orders in a cold tone, "Redraft a plan, and do it secretly. Also, consolidate the funds, since they already know our bottom line. Let's play along with their game." Meanwhile, you return to your workstation. No matter what you do, it feels uncomfortable. After the novelty of slacking off wears off, it's just torture. After thinking, you get up and head to the General Manhwa office. In the office, Secretary Zhou is reporting on work. When she sees you walk in without knocking, you face Su Jingyao directly and say confidently, "I've decided. I want to start a business. After all, I graduated from a top university. What if the company actually takes off? Then you can be in charge of this household." Secretary Zhou looks at you strangely, muttering to herself, "Where did you get the courage to say that in front of President Su?" With President Su's dominant personality, how could she let you just start a business? Especially now that the company is short on funds. You're just asking to be scolded. But Su Jingyao smiles and agrees. "Bring me a feasible plan, and I'll let you start your business." Her smile carries a hint of amusement, but hidden in that amusement is affection. Secretary Zhou is stunned. Can't help but complain internally. "Hey, Lop has blinded you. Where's that strong and domineering President Su? You didn't expect it to go so smoothly either." After a moment of SOC, you scratch your head, turn and walk out of the office, muttering, "When did this woman become so easy to talk to?" Facing Secretary Zhou's puzzled look, Su Jingyao doesn't explain. She just pulls up the surveillance for planning Tim 3, quietly watching the screen. After you return to your seat, you first open PPT with full motivation, but stare at the computer with a troubled face for a long time. In the end, you still open again to slack off. Su Jingyao smiles triumphantly. "I didn't stop him from slacking off for half a month, just to indirectly kill his ambition. Now I've spoiled him into a work slacker. How could he still start a business?" Secretary Zhou admires and gives a thumbs up. As expected of President Su, this move is brilliant. In just half a month, you've unknowingly become completely unable to escape Su Jingyao's grasp. Su Jingyao laughs inwardly. "Stinky little brother, just be my pretty vase. I'll earn money to support you. Isn't that great?" Soon it's lunchtime. Tang Xiaoyu finishes organizing her files, about to head to the cafeteria. Seeing you sleeping soundly beside her, she whispers, "Brother Peng, wake up. Time to eat." You smack your lips, showing no signs of waking up. Just then, Su Jingyao walks over. Tang Xiaoyu quickly steps aside, bows her head and greets respectfully. "President Su, good afternoon." Su Jingyao responds lightly. Her gaze falls on you, asleep at the desk. She deliberately raises her voice and says, "Look, there's a celebrity in black stockings over there, holding a limited edition Asuna pillow." This sentence is like flipping a switch. You reflexively stand up and look around. Drool still at the corner of your mouth. You ask excitedly, Where are the black stockings?" Tang Xiaoyu beside you can't help but laugh. Never thought this usually lazy person could have such a funny side. The next second, Su Jingyao grabs your ear and drags you toward the elevator. She says as she walks, "There's a problem with the business in Japan. I need to go on a business trip for 2 days. Come with me for lunch, then I'll leave." You haven't come to your senses yet, and nod instinctively. Soon, Su Jingyao takes you to an upscale Western restaurant. During the meal, the two of you can't help but get affectionate, even filling up the hungry waiter nearby. In the afternoon, at the waiting hall of Magic City Airport, Su Jingyao is wearing a pure white long dress, looking like a Siu goddess, attracting the attention of most passersby. As boarding time approaches, Su Jingyao steps forward and gives you a warm hug. You're overjoyed, but then you hear her teasing laughter in your ear. "Stinky little brother, you'd better behave while I'm away for these 2 days. If I find out you've been misbehaving outside, you'll be dead when I get back." Cold sweat forms on your forehead. You nod repeatedly to show loyalty. Su Jingyao finally shows a satisfied smile. She gives you a light kiss on the lips, then turns and walks toward the boarding gate. Watching the plane soar through the clouds, you suppress your excitement and walk out of the airport. She's gone. How can she control you now? Going to work? No way. You're going to gammon binge watch all night. The next day, you have the time of your life. In the evening, after dinner and a shower, you lie in bed and think, then decide to call Su Jingyao. Meanwhile, in a high-end hotel in Japan, Su Jingyao is handling work, focusing intently on the complex Japanese text on her computer, reading almost line by line. Her phone on the desk rings. The contact name is Silly Pig. Seeing this name, Su Jingyao can't help but smile. She picks up the phone and answers softly. "I thought you wouldn't call me. It's already dark, and you're just starting to miss me." You laugh and say, "I was afraid if I didn't call, you'd hit me when you got back." After saying that, you realize the other end has gone silent. You quickly add, all right, I miss you. When are you coming back?" Hearing this, the coldness in Su Jingyao's eyes fades, but her voice remains, "See you. I'm not there today. How have you been?" "I miss you so much I'm going crazy." You quickly pledge your loyalty. Su Jingyao can't help but smile. She talks with you for a full 2 hours, until she starts to feel sleepy and hangs up. The next morning, as soon as you open your eyes, you see Su Jingyao lying beside you in a black nightgown, her fair legs peeking out from under the hem. Her voice is as soft as silk brushing your heart. "Lazy pig, you're finally awake, lying in bed." You stare blankly at her sudden appearance and ask dazedly, "Why are you here? Weren't you supposed to be on a 2-day business trip?" Su Jingyao chuckles softly. "Someone said they missed me last night, so I caught an early morning flight back to have breakfast with you. From Japan to Magic City, a full 2,000 kilometers, just to have breakfast with you." You immediately reach out and hug her, feeling warm and sweet inside. This woman is too good at this. You bury your head in her arms, your face burning hot, just as the two of you are getting affectionate. Qin Wanru's voice comes from outside the room. What are you two doing? Hurry up and come down for breakfast. You and Su Jingyao finally separate. Quickly change clothes and prepare to go downstairs. As you leave the room, Su Jingyao doesn't forget to leave a mark on your face. She kisses you, and downstairs, Qin Wanru sees you both finally coming down. Can't help but say to her daughter, you flew 2 hours just to have breakfast. What a waste of time going back and forth. Su Jingyao shrugs. What can I do? I'm a brother Fen. You're afraid your mother will discover your relationship with Su Jingyao. Too nervous to speak. You just eat your meal in silence. After breakfast, you drive Su Jingyao to the airport. The two of you part ways at the boarding gate again. But this scene is clearly seen by Su Hongyuan, who just returned from abroad. Su Hongyuan, holding a briefcase, stands at the exit, watching the person in the distance seeing Su Jingyao off. He senses something is off. He quickly takes out his phone and captures the scene, then calls Qin Wanru. As soon as the call connects, Su Hongyuan angrily demands, what exactly is the relationship between that brat and Jingjing now? I just saw them hugging at the airport. How are you even a mother? In her heart, Su Jingyao is the most outstanding daughter. Even if she wants a partner, it should be a rich heir, not a poor kid like you. On the other end of the line, Qin Wanru was watching TV. Being questioned by this, her good mood vanishes, and she says coldly, she's my daughter. You don't need to interfere. If you dare to disturb them, don't blame me for turning against you. With that, she hangs up. Su Hongyuan grits his teeth, looking at the disconnected phone. After a moment of thought, he dials another number. Meanwhile, after seeing Su Jingyao off, you return to the company to slack off. You slack off all morning, just about to go for lunch. Your phone on the desk rings. It's a 60 call from Su Jingyao. When the call connects, Su Jingyao on the screen is all smiles. Looks like she's on a busy shopping street with a meal tray beside her. She asks, why didn't you turn on the camera? I'm afraid you'll covet my good looks. You tease her, and Su Jingyao's pretty face darkens. Are you asking for a spanking? You pout and reluctantly turn on the camera. When your face appears on the screen, Su Jingyao shows a beautiful smile and says softly, Xiaopeng, call me big sister and let me hear it. Tang Xiaoyu, who's nearby, hears this. Can't help but sigh. Your charm is too strong to make that cold, unapproachable President Su become lie a big sister next door. I'm not calling you that. You snort proudly. What do you take me for? You think I'll just do whatever you say? That would be so embarrassing. Man, my patience has limits. Su Jingyao's eyes turn cold. If you don't want me to come back holding a whip, you better be smart. Got it? The next second, you immediately switch to a gentle tone and whisper, big sister. After saying it, even you feel your face flush. On the other end of the line, Su Jingyao can't suppress her smile. If she weren't still on a business trip abroad, she'd really want to pin you down and tease you right now. Time quickly passes to evening. A plane from overseas slowly lands at Magic City Airport. Su Jingyao gets off the plane. As she walks through the waiting hall, she immediately spots a familiar figure in the corner. Because it's late, there aren't many people in the hall. You, dozing off in a chair, stand out. Su Jingyao lips curl up slightly. She quickly walks toward you and calls softly, did you come specially to pick up your big sister? You're not completely heartless after all. You jolt awake. Seeing it's Su Jingyao, you stubbornly say, who came to pick you up? I was just out for a run and happened to end up nearby. Got tired and came in to rest for a bit. Seeing your stubborn look, Su Jingyao extends her slender hand, pulls you up from the chair, and walks out of the airport. The city's night view comes into sight. The evening breeze blows, carrying a chill. Su Jingyao is only wearing a thin white dress. Seeing this, you quickly take off your jacket and put it over her, warming her heart. She steps forward and hugs you. Even with the jacket, it's still a bit cold. This is much better. You don't say anything. Just hold her tighter. The Porsche is parked by the roadside. After Su Jingyao gets into the passenger seat, she says goodnight and quickly falls asleep. The meaning is clear. When you get home, you'll have to carry her to her room. You sigh helplessly. You chose this girlfriend, so you just have to spoil her. The next morning at 8, because she went to bed late last night, Su Jingyao still hasn't woken up. At the dining table in the living room, Lu Zhenghua hears Qin Wanru's words and asks with wide eyes, what? Meeting the father-in-law? We've only been living together for a short time. This is too fast. It's not appropriate. But you eat nonchalantly, having already made up your mind. No matter how old you are, meeting the father-in-law for the first time is always nerve-wracking. After all, you're taking away his precious daughter. Without some tests, how could he accept you? Thinking this way, you're actually a bit relieved. At least you don't have to go through these hardships. Lu Zhenghua beside you is still trying to delay the meeting. Qin Wanru rolls her eyes at him and says speechlessly, my dad wants to see Xiaopeng, not you. Why are you so excited? Hearing this, you freeze. Lu Zhenghua is also stunned. After coming to his senses, Lu Zhenghua clears his throat twice, pats you on the shoulder, and says earnestly, son, your grandfather wants to see you. You have to go. Show your face early in front of the old man. At least you have a third of my charm from when I was young. Go ahead. I believe in you. You think to yourself, I'd call you the master of quick changes. But helpless as it is, he's an elder. Refusing the first meeting would be too rude. So you agree, and after breakfast, Qin Wanru drives herself, taking you toward the suburbs. She says as she drives, your grandfather was a businessman when he was young, made his fortune during turbulent times, and retired in his old age, giving all his assets to me. I'm his only daughter. As for your two uncles, they passed away before your grandmother gave birth to me. On the expressway to the Qin family estate, Qin Wanru glances at you, looking a bit nervous, and asks with a smile, Xiaopeng, how far have you and Jingjing progressed? Have you done everything you should? You almost choke on your food, cough heavily, and say awkwardly, Aunt Qin, what are you talking about? We haven't done anything. We're just a normal brother-sister relationship. No need to pretend in front of me. Qin Wanru says with a knowing smile, I know my daughter well. She used to barely even talk to me. Since you came, she's become much more cheerful. So, have you or haven't you? You quickly wave your hands. We only just confirmed our relationship not long ago. Do you know why the old man specifically asked to see you? Qin Wanru asks, and seeing you shake your head, she explains, that Su Hongyuan saw you seeing Jingjing off at the airport. He probably guessed something, and secretly called the old man. The old man has always doted on Jingjing the most, knowing you're together. He insisted on calling you over, probably to tet you. You need to be mentally prepared. Even I can't guess what he's thinking. You nod thoughtfully. Driving another 10 kilometers, the car leaves the bustling city, soon arrives at a huge estate. The estate is surrounded by high walls, with security guards patrolling the entrance. Seeing it's Qin Wanru's Maybach, two guards quickly run over, and push open the heavy iron gate. Once the gate opens, all the guards bow in unison. This spectacle makes you marvel at the power of money. After the Maybach enters the estate, it drives for another 2 minutes, before stopping in front of a 211 villa. Hearing the noise, Qin Huaishan walks out of the villa. Though over 70 years old, his back is still straight, dressed in simple cloth. His sharp eyes land on you. His voice is strong and powerful. So you're the kid dating Jingjing. Come here. Kneel for half an hour first. This demeanor immediately intimidates you. Qin Wanru gets out of the car, and says helplessly, Dad, when will you stop this habit of scaring people? She shakes her head, and leads you into the villa. Entering the living room, Qin Huaishan takes the chance to walk up to you and snorts, Kid, you're done for. Then Qin Wanru glares at her dad helplessly. If you scare Xiaopeng, Xiaopeng, be careful, Jingjing will come after you. I don't believe Jingjing would care more about this kid than her. Her grandfather is more important. Qin Wanru shakes her head helplessly and leads you into the villa. Hello, Grandpa Qin. You greet first before following her in. Entering the living room, you sit on the sofa. Qin Wanru goes to the kitchen to boil water. Qin Huaishan takes the chance to walk up to you and snorts. Kid, if you want to take Jingjing away, you have to pass my tet first. Otherwise, no one can help you. Hearing this, you cautiously remind him, my dad and Aunt Qin are going to get married. My grandparents passed away long ago, so even if Jingjing and I get married, we'll come to you for holidays. Qin Huaishan is taken aback. Thinking about it seems true, but he still insists. Don't give me that nonsense, old man. I haven't read much. Can't argue with you young people. In short, one thing. If you want me to agree to you and Jingjing being together, you have to spend a day in my bear forest. He adds with a hint of pride. Don't say I didn't warn you. There are 2 adult black bears in there. Both have drawn blood. If you can really stay in there for a whole day, it proves you truly locked Jingjing. If you're scared, then go back where you came from. Qin Huaishan looks confident. Normal people would be scared stiff just seeing a bear, let alone spending a whole day in the same forest. But you calmly nod. Oh, Ku. You said it yourself. Can't go back on your word. I always keep my word. Follow me. Qin Huaishan snorts and walks toward the back door of the villa with his hands behind his back. You follow closely. The entire estate is huge, covering almost every kind of entertainment facility, including a forest the size of a football field, taking up a third of the estate. Surrounded by layers of wire fencing, you can faintly hear bears growling. To prevent accidents, a dozen guards with electric batons stand at the entrance. Qin Huaishan leads you to the iron gate. Just then, a deafening bear roar comes from the forest. He asks smugly, well, kid, it's not too late to back out now. My bears are bigger than wild ones. One swipe could probably send you flying 10 meters. You show no fear and calmly reply, I've always loved small animals. Qin Huaishan is momentarily speechless, muttering to himself, this kid is too good at acting tough. He walks over to a nearby pavilion, grabs a pager and tosses it to you, orders the guards, open the door and let him in. Then says to you, if you can't take it, use the pager to call for help. If you get eaten by a bear because you're stubborn, don't say I didn't warn you. The guards open the iron gate. Behind it is a deep, quiet forest, overgrown with weeds, giving off an eerie vibe. You stuff the pager into your pocket and walk straight in. Your figure quickly disappears from sight. At this moment, Qin Wanru, who had been watching silently, walks over from behind, stops beside Qin Huaishan. Looking at the closed gate, she says worriedly, Dad, isn't this too much? What if something happens to Xiaopeng? Qin Huaishan walks into the pavilion, pours himself a cup of hot tea and says calmly, what could happen? Those 2 black bears have been raised by me since birth, fed well for 5 years. They're much gentler than regular bears. As long as that kid doesn't provoke them, it'll be fine. Qin Wanru sighs softly, sits down beside him, still worried. Qin Huaishan feels a bit uneasy and starts complaining. What's so great about that kid? Why does Jingjing lie him so much? Even you're this worried about him. You've only known him for a few days. Dad, I'm worried about you. If Jingjing finds out you're treating Xiaopeng like this, she'll definitely make a big scene. I'm her grandfather. I don't believe that kid is more important to her than me. Meanwhile, in the forest enclosed by iron nets, sunlight filters through the dense leaves, casting irregular patches of light, flickering in and out of sight. You've reached the heart of the forest. The soil beneath your feet is soft. You look casual on the outside, but inside, you're highly alert. The trees here are thicker than usual, lush with leaves, but that's not the point. The point is on the sturdy trunks. You can see claw marks of varying depths. That old man wasn't lying. There really are bears in here. Just as you're on full alert, planning to find a place to hide, the ground trembles slightly. A rustling sound comes from behind. You stop, swallow, and slowly turn around. You see where you just walked. A black bear as tall as you has appeared, with dark fur and a powerful body, seemingly bursting with explosive strength. The black bear stares straight at you, sniffs with its nose. You know clearly, you absolutely cannot run now. If you flee, it'll see you as prey, and provoke its attack instinct. The most important thing now is to calm this big guy down, then find a chance to slip away and hide. As your mind races for a plan, more noise comes from behind. Another bear, taller than you, appears silently, blocking your escape route. 2 black bears exude a strong pressure, trapping you between them front and back, giving you no time to react. They bare their sharp teeth, glinting coldly as they lunge at you. Meanwhile, Su Jingyao slept until noon. She opens her eyes in the dim room, holding a pink panda plushie. Her coat is neatly folded on a chair nearby. She gets up, washes up, and leaves the room. Pushes open your door next door, but finds it empty. The blanket is neatly folded. That stinky little brother woke up and didn't call me. Su Jingyao closes the door and heads downstairs. Lu Xinghua is sitting on the sofa, watching TV while peeling garlic, looking very domestic. Seeing her come down, he smiles. Awake? There's lean meat porridge in the pot. Heat it up before eating. Su Jingyao heads to the kitchen, asking, where's Xiaopeng? He went with Lan Lan to your grandfather's place early. Said your grandfather wanted to see him. Hearing this, Su Jingyao stops in her tracks. Grandfather wants to see him? Could he have found out about our relationship? With his temper, she can't sit still anymore. Turns and quickly walks toward the door. Without looking back, she says, I'll go trek it out. Lu Xinghua scratches his head, not understanding why she's in such a hurry. Is the old man going to eat him or something? Leaving the house, Su Jingyao drives a Rolls-Royce quickly toward the suburbs. There's quite a bit of traffic at noon, but still, the usual 40-minute trip. Su Jingyao makes it to the pavilion outside Bear Forest in just over 20 minutes. Qin Huaishan is leisurely drinking tea, playing Gamoku with Qin Wanru. Just then, Su Jingyao appears in the distance. Qin Huaishan happily stands up, laughing like a playful old man. Jingjing, why are you here? Did you miss your grandpa? Tell me, where's Lu Chen? Su Jingyao cuts him off coldly. Well, Qin Huaishan hesitates, completely losing the bravado he had with you. Qin Wanru speaks up from the side. Your grandpa sent him into Bear Forest, said he has to stay a full day before allowing him to be with you. I tried to talk him out of it. What Bear Forest? Su Jingyao's eyes widen. Her face instantly darkens. She grew up on the estate and knows Bear Forest all too well. Those 2 black bears are gentle with the Qin family, but not necessarily with outsiders. Seeing her expression, Qin Huaishan knows he's gone too far. Quickly orders the nearby bodyguard, use the pager to call that kid back. The bodyguard does so, pressing the call button several times, but there's no response. After a while, he says nervously, Sir, we can't reach him. The pager might be damaged. Qin Huaishan exclaims, his voice trembling. These pagers are military-grade surplus. Excellent quality. They can send short-range signals, even in the desert. There are usually only 2 reasons for no contact. Too far away or the pager is broken. This is clearly the latter. Xiaopeng is in trouble. Thinking this, Su Jingyao turns pale. Without a second thought, she rushes out of the pavilion toward Bear Forest. Xiaopeng, you can't be in trouble. What are you standing there for? Go find him and call Dr. Wang over, just in case. Qin Huaishang quickly instructs the bodyguards. Then he also hurries toward the forest, filled with regret. He only meant to scare him, never expected an accident. If anything happens to him, Jingjing will hate me forever. Soon, over a dozen bodyguards with tranquilizer guns enter the forest. The forest isn't large. Su Jingyao, who rushed in first, quickly reaches the center. She runs and shouts around. Luchin, where are you? As she runs, she seems to hear something, suddenly stops to listen carefully, then picks a direction, walks toward a distant bush. Gradually, the sound of flowing water reaches her ears, pushing aside the bushes. As she comes into view, two big black bears are lying on the bank, sunbathing. A figure is lying on their bellies. Sensing movement, you turn your head. Seeing Su Jingyao, you ask in confusion, why are you here? The two black bears get excited seeing Su Jingyao, immediately get up and circle her lie lapdogs, making het pie growls. You, on the other hand, are in trouble. You fall straight into the sheet trim, soaking wet. Before you can react, you feel a warm, soft body throw itself into your arms. Su Jingyao hugs you tightly. Her voice, choked with tears, sounds in your ear. You idiot. Do you know how worried I was? Don't run off like that again. She was truly scared this time. Thank goodness you're Oku. Otherwise, she wouldn't know what to do. Though you don't know why she's so upset. You gently hold her and comfort her softly. It's Oku. I'm here. The bodyguards who came see the two embracing in the sheet trim, exchange glances, and wisely turn away. After a long while, Su Jingyao wipes her tears, lets go, and demands, how did your pager break? Tell me the truth. You shrug helplessly, point to the pile of parts on the bank and pout. These two big goofs stepped on it. I tried to fix it, but it's completely wrecked. Can't even put it back together. The two of you walk ashore. Su Jingyao scowls and commands the two black bears. Bear 1, Bear 2, come here and kneel nicely. Hearing the names, you look puzzled. Are these two from Bear Ridge? As soon as Su Jingyao speaks, the two black bears kneel obediently like naughty kids. Even blinking human lie. Looking pitiful. Utterly wronged. Su Jingyao turns to you, looks you over carefully, then says, these two don't usually approach strangers. It must be because your clothes smell limey. That's why they got close to you. Bear 1 and Bear 2 were my childhood playmates, so they're very sensitive to my scent. You two behave yourselves. I'll deal with you later, after warning the bears. Su Jingyao leads you, soaking wet, out of the forest. After about 10 minutes, you both exit Bear Forest. Qin Huaishang, hearing the news, sees you come out, turns his head away and mutters, lucky kid. As Su Jingyao speaks up, Grandpa, don't you have anything to say to her? Qin Huaishang hesitates for a long time, then finally says, can't I just say I'm so little Jingjing, don't be mad at your grandpa. Besides, he's fine. Qin Wanru chuckles softly from the side. Only Jingjing can keep the old man in check. Then Su Jingyao takes you back to the villa, finds you a set of clean clothes, pushes you into the bathroom, and goes upstairs to shower herself. When you come out of the shower, you see several bodyguards carrying wooden crates and beautifully wrapped gift boxes, loading them into Su Jingyao's car. At the door, Qin Huaishang looks pained. These are my best wines and teas I've saved for years. I couldn't bear to drink them, and now they're all gone. Qin Wanru pats her old father's shoulder sympathetically and sighs. I told you not to bully Xiaopeng, but you wouldn't listen. In Jingjing's heart, a boyfriend is much more important than a grandpa. After all this fuss, it's lunchtime. The estate's chef prepares a big table of dishes, tasting no less than a star hotel chef's. After lunch, Su Jingyao takes you around the estate, playing with the bears. You try out all the facilities. She's a lively little girl, sharing everything she loves without reservation with you. The day passes quickly and fun. In the evening, the chef prepares an outdoor barbecue, so you can enjoy the night view while eating. Su Jingyao is pulled aside by her mother for a private chat. Qin Huaishang grabs a bottle of beer, walks over and sits on the grass beside you, takes a big gulp and starts talking about the past. It turns out that Su Hongyuan and Qin Wanru got together, all because of him, the father, orchestrating it. He saw Su Hongyuan's potential and non-extreme personality, always supported him as the Qin family's son-in-law. Time proved his judgment was right. Su Hongyuan became a famous domestic entrepreneur, running a multinational trading group, but he wasn't a good father. Over the years, Qin Huaishang has felt very guilty, believing he caused Su Jingyao's unhappy childhood. So when he learned you were Jingjing's boyfriend, he treated you so harshly. Afraid history would repeat itself. After hearing this, you feel even more for Su Jingyao's situation, though you already knew her childhood was tough. Hearing it from Qin Huaishang himself still stirs your heart. You look serious and promise Qin Huaishang, Grandpa Qin, rest assured, I will definitely protect Jingjing. I won't let her be bullied again. She's the one you and Aunt Qin care about most, and the most important person in my heart. As long as I'm still breathing, I'll never let her suffer. Qin Huaishang looks at you deeply, gazing into your determined eyes. After a long moment, he reaches out and pats your shoulder. Don't call me Grandpa Qin anymore. It sounds too distant.